What's going on, everyone? Nathan Barna here. One of the biggest issues that I see people get tripped up on or have issues with time and time again that stands in the way of them achieving their goals and pursuing their dreams and ultimately, taking action and doing what it is that they know that they need to do is creating a schedule for themselves and effective time management. Time and time again, I work with people and they have all the motivation they could need. They have, all the aspiration and the desire and the will to get better and to move towards their dreams. But one thing that they don't take into consideration that constantly creeps up and causes them to get sidetracked and get off of their path is that they don't take the time to create a schedule for themselves and create the values that we've discussed before that create a structure and a format to make decisions from to help guide the creation of that schedule so that they can effectively manage their time. Because just like when you get a job and you're assigned specific hours during the week and you have to show up at this time and you leave at this time, and when you have that structure in place and you know that you value keeping that job and you value the money that it is providing you so that you can continue to, live the way that you want to live and afford the things that you want and need, you show up on time to that job and you don't make excuses to your boss that this thing got in the way or this thing got in the way, because if you do, then more than likely you'll get fired and you won't have that job anymore. The same is true when it comes to anything else you're trying to do. The problem is that because we aren't clear enough on our dream and on our goals, and therefore because we don't create a value structure to support our dreams and our goals, we don't put a priority on the tasks that need to be done to move us toward our dreams and our goals. If you decide your goal is to, have a certain level of strength or a certain body composition, and you know that part of that goal, part of reaching that goal is to go to the gym 4 to 5 times a week, but you continue to have other things get in the way of you getting to the gym, then the same can be said like your job. If you're not showing up to your job, you're not going to make money. If you're not showing up to the gym, you're not going to get to the goals that you said you wanted for yourself. So again, if you placed the priority of all the other things that you need to do to better yourselves and move towards your dreams at the same level of priority that you would place obligations such as a job or such as, watching your kid or picking your kid up from school, things that would cause a lot of pain if you were not to follow through with them, then ultimately you're going to end up finding yourself in the same trap and making excuses and victimizing yourself and giving yourself a way out for not being the person that you say that you want it to be. So when I'm working with people, usually one of the first steps, because this is such a big problem that people have, is sitting down and actually creating a schedule day by day, hour by hour. And this is something that, I continuously have to do with myself to accommodate my schedule. Because, I'm a pretty busy dude these days, and I know if I don't manage my time effectively, I'm not going to be able to do the things I know that I need to do to continue to move myself in the direction of my dreams and ultimately the life that I want to create for myself and the person that I want to become. So I know that I have to stick to my schedule and stick to the priorities and the values that I created for myself, or just like, if I didn't show up to work, I'm not going to make money. I'm not going to be able to provide for myself or my family. And obviously that's going to cause a lot of pain in my life. And that's one of the hardest things when you decide you want to create your own path and, potentially create your own job, is that nobody's there anymore to create that schedule for you, create that structure for you. And you have to do that yourself. And, a lot of times it's going to put you in a position where you have to, cut the bullshit with yourself and realize that you can get a lot more done than you think you can if you know how to prioritize and manage your time effectively. So with the process, decide first, again, what's your goal, what's your dream, what are you ultimately trying to achieve? And then from there, create values. Okay, so how much, these are basic values that for any dream, Dr. Diet, Dr. Quiet, Dr. Movement, Dr. Happiness. How much sleep and rest do I need? How much and what types and what quality of food do I need? What are the things that bring me joy and happiness in my life that I need to be consistent with on a regular basis? And, how much do I need to move and to exercise my body to achieve my dreams? And these are all basic, fundamental values that we all have to consider. And then from there, you have to decide what are the main obligations that you have on a daily and weekly basis. If your goal is to be an athlete, then, part of that is obviously going to be to train. And then part of that is going to be, meal prepping. And part of meal prepping is going to the store, going to the grocery store. And so all of these things, and obviously you have to sleep. And depending on what your goals are, you have to decide how much you're going to sleep. And, more than likely you're going to do best at least sleeping 8 hours a day. So you have to factor that in. If you have a job that is outside of training, which most of us do, you have to factor that in. And if you have other obligations such as, your relationships with your, partner or your kids or whatever that might be, all of these things have to be considered. And then from there, you can, put these things on paper and see, okay, if I'm sleeping this much a night and I have to work these hours, that leaves me this time for the gym and for meal prepping and going to the grocery store. And you can, basically be assured that if you don't schedule it in, usually it's not going to happen. Because when we leave things to just happen by chance, usually something else gets in the way and they don't end up happening. Even things like going to the grocery store and meal prepping, which is where a lot of people tend to get sidetracked and tend to lose progress in their goals. So that's basically it. Create a schedule for yourself. If you're serious about your mission, if you're serious about your goals, create a schedule for yourself on a day-to-day basis, and then stick to that schedule to the best of your ability. Obviously, things inevitably come up that may throw you off, but if you have a format, you know what you need to be saying yes to and what you need to be saying no to. If you schedule yourself to meal prep from 4 to 6 on a Saturday night, because that's the only time you have to do that based on your other obligations, but somebody is asking you to go and do something else, then you know that if you value your meal prep time because you value your goals, then you know that you have to make that sacrifice and possibly say no or reschedule anything that could be interfering with that time. So I hope this is helpful for you guys. Again, it's something that I'm constantly working on and having to develop myself, because like any human, distractions and procrastination can trickle up and get in the way of things. But if you are, diligent enough and have a passion enough to pursue your dreams and then stick to that schedule, you can make a lot happen with what seems like a little bit of time, especially if you're managing yourself effectively as far as your nutrition and lifestyle goes. So I'll talk to you next time. Have a great rest of your day.